All right, all praise to the Most High Yahweh, and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach Yahushai. Peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. All right, in this video, we're gonna just continue to build off of uh, the last video information. So we are back with E1b1a information and so on. So what we are looking at is test sites. So we're gonna get into this information. So this is dealing with Y-DNA information, and all these paternal groups have um, a haplogroup, a haplo or a subclade, and after the subclade from the haplogroup is broken down, you end up with these defining mutations, these shorthand counts or long hand counts of DNA codes. So the abbreviated counts are often dealing with, you know, a couple of letters or a letter and a number or a hyphen number. And so you're getting into what are those markers or what is it the abbreviation for. So here we are with a group of labs and testing sites. So a lot of people often go, how come it's taking so long for my DNA? Well, it go from one site to another site to another site, and until you perfectly match those places to where it belong, it could be a while, you know. So so real quick, um, we have these testing facilities, and the best example of understanding or telling you what these are is I'm gonna use my mutation as an example. So instead of saying E1b1a, 1a, 1a, and so on, they use defining mutations. And certain groupings of E1b1a branches have like several mutation um, markers or numbers to figure out what subclade you're belonging to. Some have one, some have several, some have two, some have, three. So it just depends. So I'm a part of the defining mutation grouping of U186. So U186. So these abbreviations on the side, I'm going to look for U. So U is equal to Len M. Sims, University of Central Florida. Dennis Garvey, PhD, Gonzaga University. And Jack Ballantyne, PhD, University of Central Florida. So that was where my testing came from. Now in Israel, we have some V's. So we have some V grouping of people. I think V39. If you have V39, this would be your testing group. There's a lot of us with M. So I'm going to scroll up for M. Here we go. We have M. Peter Underhill, PhD of Stanford University. So the most interesting thing that happened to me was when trying to understand this information, I actually misread it, and Page, I thought Page was dealing with a another site that I had to go to on Wikipedia or another source of information. I wasn't connecting the dots on it being a test lab. So Page would be, for some people, it could be Page or PS, and that would be David C. Page, Whitehead Institute of Biomedical Research. And some of us have P, and that would be dealing with Michael Hammer. And Michael Hammer is one of the many of scientists that has chart information on a lot of Wikipedia sources of DNA. We often see him dealing with the sub-Saharan DNA information and everything. So he's one of the lab sites. So we move from this information, test sites, and some of y'all have Z. So we scroll down. We get there's a Z, I believe, and here goes Z. So I'm gonna scroll down to show you the whole page. Slowly go back up. So all this is just building a decent foundation to understanding this YDNA information. So so later on, when we get to the PDF information, everybody will have a decent understanding of certain things that we are looking for. So scroll down or scroll up some more so people can see these markers, the abbreviation for them, and the sites. So I know a lot of us have thoughts of a conspiracy of how DNA is kept and sold and so on. Yes, that is probably true that they sell the information, but at the same time, it shouldn't stop us from collecting as much information as we need from this stuff as well, and using it to benefit our understanding. So I continue to scroll up, and CTS is also another common lab, and we are almost done. Okay, we're done. So now we move on to the other page. This is dealing with the YDNA haplogroup of people. So all these are Abrahamic grouping of people. So Abraham became the father of many nations, and this is proof of that blessing. So as you can see, some more, some more, some more. Try to show you the whole page. Okay, now I'm gonna scroll back up. And now we are gonna get into the E1b1a. So on this one, there's somewhat of a controversy, dealing with this. So okay, we're almost there. So on this layout, we have all these E1b1a defining mutation points. So real quick, we're gonna start at this E1b1a setup. So E1b1a is also known as other reference points as V38, V100, E3a, E-M2. So what you're looking at is the information broken down into branches, like a lot of branches. So we get to the first marker. So Israel would be accounted for as E1b1a in general. Is that his marker? No. His marker would be something similar to E1b1a, but it wouldn't be his marker. It would just be the next grouping of protein after that reference point. So that's where we have that understanding with Ruben. After we understand that Ruben or Israel is one point of reference, then you have the understanding that Reuben and Simeon, Levi, Judah, and so on is other parts. So real quick, E1b1a, 1a1 would be Reuben. So this would be a rare DNA haplogroup or marker. So when I was looking for information on Ruben, it was hard to find. Like I had to double check, double back on a lot of information. I had to constantly Google search. I had to pick up a better understanding of what I'm looking at to come to a understanding and a conclusion and a accurate understanding of who and where Ruben is and the information that I need to look at with that people group. So M180 and P88 would be the defining mutations of Ruben. So these two defining mutations would be the most common mutations out the others, So you do have P182, you do have page 66, you do have V43 and Z1111 and so on. But the whole group in general is very rare. So I was able to find M180 recently. So so that's that was something that I was like constantly, and I did put together a 12 tribe chart based off Y-DNA information, and I was doing the Y-DNA, the country origin, and the tribes, or the ethnic groups in Africa that these people was associated with. So it would be the root chart of Israel. And a lot of these groups, I was able to, associate them with people and countries, and I was able to use some of the information from Genesis 49 and Deuteronomy 33 to use for some of these people groups, but certain groups I couldn't use any of the information because it was just like a guessing game. I can't do that with this information. This is very important information, and I can't just say I'm guessing, I'm doing this. I have to be very accurate with this information, and this is a serious business. So it's like me just saying, okay, I think multiple choice A is better than B and D. No, this is me just going, off the information. And if the information is not there, I can't use it. I have to just come back constantly, seeing if my understanding and the information is catching up with each other. So the next one would be let's see, Ruben, Simeon. So M58, and then they have page 27. So on the layout that I have, that I use for a video and for my note, for the my app on the note app, it didn't have 27, page 27. Or if it did, I moved it because I thought it was dealing with another site page. But these are the two markers for that tribe. But M58 is the most common one. That's the one that I've seen in use. So that's Simeon. So now on this, they leave out Judah and Levi. Now, Judah is another defining mutation that is very rare. It took me 3 weeks ago to find out that I had information on Judah, but I was constantly missing it, and I saw it in the graph, but I wasn't finding, the people group, and the people group is dealing with split tribes of people. And I was like, well, this is why I missed it, because percentages of the tribe or the ethnic group is dealing with other Israelite groups of people at the same time. So I noticed that when I came to this page, I was like, well, did I copy this as well onto my note app like this, the way it is? And I probably did. And when I started to see the pages I was like, okay, erase this because it don't make sense to share this information. I don't have the reference pages that goes with that information. So um, here go my group, and we have M191 slash P86 is other you know defining mutations, a part of my branch that is associated with U186, as well as you have other defining mutations. So for Judah and Levi, we'll just scroll down the page to see if they have any information telling us why. So we scroll down, and okay, so here we go. M66, M149, that's Judah. M116.2, that's Levi. M155, not sure who those are. Is downstream from M180, P88, listed 5. So we go back up here, and it said it's listed near Ruben, and we was just right there. So here go Ruben. And I don't see nothing. So this is why we have to have a overall understanding on what we are looking for when it comes to DNA and the information, either on a layout like this or on PDF formats, when they are breaking down how they come up with the results of the samples and everything. So it said it would be right here by M180. So it wasn't. So we go back into looking at E1b1a groupings, and some of it is easy to read, some of it isn't. So I think they had a simplify. uh, Let me go to this. Okay. Okay, now here we are, the E1b1a group. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to go slow, so maybe some of y'all have y'all defining mutation information stuck in your head, and maybe y'all could see if y'all have some of these protein counts, or not protein counts, because the protein, when they break down the protein, is a different layout altogether, and there's not numbers, So so these are all the defining mutations. We're almost done, and I believe we're done. That's it. Okay, let me scroll back up. So, like I was saying before, um, this is just, building up information towards, understanding more DNA information. And all this information is letting us, better inform ourselves about ourselves and other people. And it's nothing wrong with adding more new information to better your understanding and your outlook towards you wanting to know who exactly your brothers and sisters are. So, so with that being said, I just want to say once again, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach, Yahushai, and peace and blessings once again to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. As always, leave a comment. Leave a comment according to community guidelines, and I will try to reply to that comment as soon as possible. Thank y'all once again.